You were listening to the views expressed right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network. Hey folks, how you doing? This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce for the Wayne S. Pierce Show. This is a podcast, not going to be long here, but I do want to tell you that tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Views Expressed, I will have Mr. Nick Tucker from Distorted Reality. And at some point this week as well, I have to confirm it, I will have Brian Keller from Just BK on, and we will talk about the happenings in this country and basically what can be done, because people, argue about what can be done and this needs to be done, and, but I myself personally don't see a whole lot of people getting up and going doing anything about it. I mean, that's just me. Could be wrong. I mean, let me correct myself because I am wrong. I do see a lot of people getting up and saying something about it. But here in Nevada, I see a small percentage of people saying anything. And this 17th, on this Saturday, there's going to be a protest. Just signs, basically. Nobody yelling, nobody screaming, nobody, But it's going to be the overpasses that are going to have these protesters saying, impeach Obama. Should he be impeached? I believe that he needs to be brought up on criminal charges. And if that means impeach him first and kick him out of office and then, bring justice, to the system, I mean, let's do it. I don't see any reason why not. But then again, on the other hand, why do people want him out? Well, because he is a self-proclaimed, basically a self-proclaimed fascist, socialist, one of those two, by his own admission, just in the policies that he has implemented upon the American people and upon those in Chicago who he literally was against to begin with. And, when you purposely do something, knowingly putting people into a financial stressful situation that they'll never get out of, and put them in a position to where they're looking for something better, but it never arrives because it wasn't there in the first place, but you promised them it was, then of course you're committing fraud. And he has committed fraud upon this nation. And the only thing that we, the people, can do is force him out. Is that ever going to happen? No, because there's too many people that like him. There are too few, I should say this, there are too few people who will fight for him, who will literally stop anyone from impeaching him, from doing anything, So that whole situation is happening before us. And I don't know, man. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, I see these things happening and I see very few people, coming out and protesting and doing all that, and a small percentage of people, that are there that that really determine, where this country is going. I see a few people doing a small percentage, but in other states, of course, it's bigger. There's more turnout. Of course, here in Nevada, you've got a lot of scared people. And even though they may get out and do something, they're literally scared because they honestly do not know which way to go if a police officer or if an official or somebody came and talked to them and said that, you can't do this. Well, I got news for these officials. We, the people, have the power. We are America, and we stand on the First Amendment of the United States of America, of the Constitution of the United States of America, and the Bill of Rights. And if these officials don't like it, well, hey, tough. That's just the way it is, So, anyway, I just wanted to mention a few things and get that out there, and also let you know that Nick Tucker from Distorted Reality is coming on tomorrow on The Views Expressed at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can catch it here on Spreaker or at freeamericaradio.weebly.com. And I shall return after this.
Listen to Angel Clark Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Radio Freedom News Network. RadioFreedom.us.
Time to take our republic back, folks. Brian Bonner, the Uncooperative Radio Show host, will tell you how. Join us for the ride of your life. Using humor and the facts, we will expose the news that the lamestream media refuses to report. The Constitution is the solution, and we can prove it. Listen in and find out what it means to be an uncooperative citizen of these United States. You can find our show at uncooperativerradio.com, and we are rebroadcast on redstatetalkradio.com.
What's on your mind? Chances are it's on their mind too. Check out Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Only on Spreaker.com.
For the best Southern, classic, and new rock, along with kicking country and R&B, check out Wildcat Radio for the Friday night party. The fun begins at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, with local, state, and national news from the Alabama News Network at the top and bottom of every hour. It's Wildcat Radio's Friday Night Party, a division of the Vulcan Internet Broadcast Company.
No elitist drivel, no media spin. Logic over emotion, fact over fiction. The home of independent conservative thought. The Conservative Voice with your host, Jeff Wagner, only on the Conservative Radio Network.
Did you know that the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect human world where none suffered, where everyone would be happy? And it was a disaster. No one would accept the program. Entire crops were lost. Some believed that we lacked the programming language to describe your perfect world, but I believe that as a species, human beings define their reality through misery and suffering. So the perfect world was a dream that your primitive cerebrum kept trying to wake up from. Which is why the Matrix was redesigned to this, the peak of your civilization.
Hey, folks, this This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right here for the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. We're live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 Eastern. You can catch us here on Spreaker.com or at the Wayne S. Pierce Show.weebly.com. Check that out Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 Eastern. Also, catch me on The Views Expressed Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Hey, want to email me? You can. Just email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Sometime this week, tomorrow on The Views Expressed, I'll have Nick Tucker from Distorted Reality. You can go and check out his page, Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker, on Facebook, and also distortedreality.podbean.com. And check out his podcast as well. I was on his show. It's pretty cool. Also, sometime this week, I'll have Brian Keller from Just BK on radiokahuna.com. And we're going to talk about what the happenings are in the U.S. and around the world. Shows are changing, by the way, just to let you know. The Views Expressed and the Wayne S. Pierce Show are changing. So you want to stay tuned for more. A lot of things are happening in our world today, and the one thing that really has me, I don't know, it's just this is my opinion, but one thing that has me really, I'm pretty much at a loss when it comes to the idea that people have that they're just going to get everything for free. I'm at a total loss at why there are those people there. You know, because in 2008, when Barack Obama was president-elect, everybody was saying, oh yeah, here it is, free health care, we'll get our house paid, get our car paid, blah, blah, blah. Those people are strict and utter socialists. They want everything for free. They're not going to change. Their whole, everything that they do won't change at all. And what really has me thinking about why these people want that goes back a long, long way from examples that I've seen. I remember and hear people and have talked to people who have been on the system. I mean, who've been on welfare and stuff, and they've gotten off of it, and they've realized, that pride cometh before ego, and it all boils down to the fact that they want to feel good about themselves, and by being on the system, they don't feel good about themselves. And don't tell me that these people on the system will look at you and go, yeah, I feel good about myself. Seriously. They're sad, pathetic people that don't want anything, don't want to feel pride about going out and working, don't want to have any pride about putting something together that they can call their own, and they just want to take and take and take and take. And the fact of the matter is that I know a handful of people who are on the system that deserve to be on the system, that have worked most of their life and have realized, that they can't work anymore, and they're, on Social Security disability or whatever, and they deserve it because they have ailments that have put them there. So they have a legitimate need to be on the system. So my hat goes off to them as far as, my support for them and my, moral support for them as well. Those types of people need the help. There's others that just, women, young women having babies and getting on the system and just, using it as a lifestyle. Hell, I get everything for free. Why not? Well, when you look at that at a very basic level, the more that you take from the government, the more that the government gives to you, and the more saturated with people like that the system becomes, the system begins to break down within itself. We have Medicare cuts that are coming up in this midterm elections. We have Medicare, Medicaid cuts, of course. We have Social Security benefits that are going to be cut. We've got a lot of, individual payer things, coming up in the Obamacare in 2015 that are being pulled back, and all this, that, and the other thing. Well, that whole system there, with all of its waivers and all of the critics and the people that wrote it and were for it once are now against it because they see how much of a train wreck it truly is. And they see that there is a huge problem. And so they're trying to, chisel it away. And, I'm with Rand Paul. Defund the whole thing. Don't pass any bills, anything until, you get defunding Obamacare number one on the list, because analysts and even, GAO, Government Accountability Office, even says that once Obamacare is fully implemented, it's going to be a disaster in this country. And so those people that want things for free are going to be sitting out in the cold. I remember in 2008 or 2009, something like that, I was talking to my brother, and he said that there were more people in California going to the hospital to get free health care and realizing it's not free. That they were so duped into believing that it was going to be free, that no one will have to pay for anything now, that the hospital rooms were full of people. The waiting rooms were full of people. And that's the same thing here, for those people that legitimately need it, they're being cheated. Because with the cuts in Medicare, Medicaid, and Obamacare and all this, and I've talked to doctors and nurses right here in Renown and at St. Mary's. Both of those institutions have doctors and nurses in it that said once it's fully implemented, one of the doctors that I talked to told me they're getting off the system. They're going literally into private practice. And they're getting completely off the system. And a lot of doctors are leaving, even now. They're just saying it when it's implemented, because they have inside information as far as, what is happening with it and when it will be implemented in 2015. Now it's been put off until after the midterm elections. They said that's a political move. Doctors have said that's political, and they know that it's a disaster, so they want people to be on the system under Obamacare, so they're going to wait till after the midterms to slam it on people. And that's just the way it is. And even now, today, doctors are leaving the system because they're going into private practice and leaving the complete system behind and saying, we don't want that. And it's going to be a complete and utter disaster. Two things right now. Any time that the government puts their hands into something, what happens? I can give you two examples. The railroad and the post office. They're totally in debt. They're totally broke. They have absolutely no reason to exist at this point as far as under government control. The post office and the railroad and healthcare and DMV and Social Security, all of that needs to be privatized. It needs to be in the hands of the people to open it up to further competition to lower the cost, period. Go look at the numbers. The numbers are there. The numbers prove it out. So I just think that there's, a way to get through all of this. And once we realize how badly this whole system is, this whole, When we realize how badly this president has screwed up this country, yeah, maybe we might wake up. I'll be back after this.
War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. That is from 1984 by George Orwell. Do you really want to know what's going on? Come listen to The Views Express, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on the Liberty and Freedom Network.
Samo Radio, playing music for free so you can listen longer. Samo.
It's the 5 o'clock drive with Samo.
Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
What's on your mind? Chances are it's on their mind too. Check out Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Only on Spreaker.com.
Hello, folks. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right here for the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. We're usually on live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 Eastern. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're listening to the podcast. If you want to email me, you can. Wayne S. Pierce Show at USA.com. Wayne S. Pierce Show at USA.com. A lot of things happening. How do we go about finding sanity? Well, first of all, we have to define sanity. Sanity is that, according to, and I'm going to go there right now, according to dictionary.com, I sound like an NPR host. Sanity, according to dictionary.com, is reason, rationality, sensibility, and reasonableness, a state of being sane or soundness of judgment. Okay? That's according to dictionary.com. When anyone is seen to be outside of those areas of soundness and reasonableness and all of that, they're considered to be insane according to, what the definition is of sanity at dictionary.com. But can people really say they're insane? Can they really say that there's a reason for them to be sane at all? Well, yeah. Honesty, trust, truth, that's all reasonable. It's all within the realm of sanity. It's all within the realm of possibilities and acceptability. But here's the thing. Here's the odd thing that people... Here's the odd thing that I see, and people are part of this or in this category, and that is, for those that don't want to see what's going on around them, they stick their fingers in their ears. La, 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 I don't want to see it. I don't want to... When they're like that, to me, that's insane. To me, that is insane compared to the, definition at dictionary.com. And I understand that. I understand people are not always like that. And I understand the degree at which they see things or don't want to see things. It all depends on them. But the facts stare me in the face. People don't want to see what's going on. They don't want to. It's not so much that they don't want to see it. It's that they don't want to accept it. It's at a level at which they don't want to accept. They can't accept that fluoride in the water is dumbing down their children, and their IQs are 10% lower and over the years, and they can't accept that there's, poisons in our food, GMO food, GMO, genetically modified foods. They don't want to accept that. They don't want to accept that 9/11/2001 was an inside job. They don't want to accept that September 11th, 2012 was an inside job. They don't want to hear any of this. They don't want to see any of this. They don't want to see the Federal Protective Services, Homeland Security Police on the streets in their city. They don't want to accept it. They see it. They don't want to accept it. And it's very, very hard for them to accept anything that is outside of their cookie-cutter world of delusion. And they're deluded only because of the fact that they push things away. They don't want to, they don't want to see this stuff, and their sight is deluded. They're what they see, they cannot believe. You know what I mean? Even though they'll say, well, I'm not going to believe it unless I see it. Well, it's right there in front of your face. Why can't you believe it? Because I don't know. I just don't believe it. You don't want to believe it because you don't care. I had a very interesting responses to a post yesterday on Facebook where I put Alex Jones and Glenn Beck picture up there, and I said, these two are right. You're not listening. What's the problem? What's your problem? And people are just, two of the people literally were deflecting all of it, saying, yeah, you have a right to believe what you want, to believe what is truth, and blah, 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 and I don't have to agree with it. And somebody else said something to the effect that, you have a right to believe what you want, and I'll stand on that belief, or I'll stand on that because you have a right to believe it, and all this. They just deflected it. Well, these people, to me, are so blinded and so narcissistic about. Well, I shouldn't say that. That goes beyond reason. That goes beyond sanity. The point is that these two people cannot see clearly because they don't want to see clearly. They don't want to look at those things that are out there. They don't want to see any of that. And the sad part about it is these two people are some very fine people. They're I mean, I've had, I've posted things on their pages on Facebook. They've come back to me with very, well-versed responses and very thought-provoking, and that's fine. But when I hit them with the truth and hit them with the facts, they just clam up like, anything else, and they deflect the issue. In other words, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to see it, and that's the thing. They don't want to see it, they don't want to hear it. And they stick their fingers in their ears and la, 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 la. And that's just the way it is. And it's very hard. It's a difficult thing to see people like that for me. Because the truth is there. The facts are there and staring you in the face. Sorry. And it puts me in a position to where I either have to, not talk to them anymore, which that'll never happen, or continue to hit them with the truth and the facts, which I'm going to continue to do. And if they don't want to see it, then if they don't respond to me for weeks like they've had done before in the past, they're the types of people that say they push it away, they deflect it, they resist it, they don't want to see it, and their prevailing thought is, I really don't care what you have to say about this. I'm going to continue to look at it my way. And that's the same attitude as a kid in playing with the friends in the neighborhood, and, the friends are not playing the game the right way, the truthful way, the honest way, and he gets all pissed off, picks up his ball, and goes home. I mean, that's the bottom line. I have, dealt with people like that most of my life, and I'm not gonna deal with them anymore. You either are going to see this, and I'm going to put this in front of you, and you're going to read it and understand it and then draw your own conclusion on it, or else I'm not going to try to help you out anymore. It's like, and I go back to that old adage. I go back to the old adage that says that, you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You show him how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. And that's my principle, is you do for people once, and if they can't figure it out and do it on their own, and of course, draw their own conclusions, assess the situation, and go from there, and figure it out on their own, then they don't need help from me. They don't. And when you look at the statistics as to how many, there's 101 million people on the system. I call it government subsidies. Just consider it the system, okay? There's 101 million people on it. That's according to their own. That's the phone. I love caller ID. From their own records, from their own figures, from their own statistics, from the government's own statistics. It's 101 million people on the system. I don't believe they're counting those that are no longer on unemployment, federal or state unemployment. I don't think they're taking into consideration that there might be somebody in their family that is working and they're not, and they're only living on one paycheck. I don't think they're taking into consideration these people who are scamming the system. I don't think they take that into consideration. I think that 101 million people on the system is a lot higher than 101 million. But that's me. I don't have any statistics in front of me to back that up. I'm just speculating. But when you look at the information, then the information is staring you in the face, and it is what it is. I mean, there is no question about it. It's right there for people to push it away, to deflect it, to not want to see it. To me, that's insane. That's just totally insane. It's. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It really does not make any sense. It's not sensible. It's not reasonable. There is no. To me, there is no. The point is that these people who don't want to see this stuff and who deflect it and all that are just, I can't help them anymore. I can tell them, I can talk to them, I can post stuff, I can, read stuff to them. But if they don't want to get it and see the truth for themselves and assess the situation and judge for themselves what they need to do to survive, I'm not there to give them a silver platter answer. They're going to have to figure it out. Here's the documents. Here's the information. Draw your own conclusion on it. And and if they push it away and push it back to me and say they don't want to see it, they don't want to know about it, I'd rather stay positive than go away now. Bye bye. Have a nice day, because I'm not going to deal with it anymore. I would rather be in the face of the enemy than on my knees giving them an opportunity to wipe me out. And most of my Christian friends that I know in California are on their knees praying and praying and praying, when in fact it's been seen already in some very small cases where the TSA, the DHS go into churches and just, they've done that, or go to a church gathering, not into a building, but at a church gathering, and some of their people are there infiltrating these groups, and they say, don't do that, you don't want to do that, that kind of thing. Agent provocateurs is the word I was looking for. They're there, they're there in the churches, and of course, when any mainstream organized religion signs the 501c3, they've already allowed the government to come in and tell them what they need to do. Look at it. Look at it, 501c3. When did that first, in history, when did that first become a norm of the Internal Revenue Service? By the way, the Internal Revenue Service is the largest collection agency in the world. They work directly hand in hand with the Federal Reserve. Both of them need to be abolished immediately today, this minute, because there's no need for them anymore. There's no need for them anymore. And when you look at our money, our physical money, there's no, I'll go into that here in a bit, but the TSA is on the streets, the DHS is on the streets, Federal Protective Services, Homeland Security, Police are on the streets. There's tracking through cell towers, through cell phones, through this, through that, iPad, tablet, whatever, your GPS. Now I'm hearing that the pictures that you put up on Facebook are being tracked, or that when you take a picture from your iPhone, or take a picture with your iPhone or Android or something, there's tracking information that tells the system, hey, this is where this person took this, and and all that, and it just makes it easier for the government to track us. Now, why do they want to do that? It's simple. It's control. Why do you herd a whole bunch of cows into a corral and then, push them into this little, narrow alleyway, or, that's fenced off, up into a truck? Because that if you just try to push them through the gate that you brought them into, brought them through, that they'll just run. And these farmers know it. So with that, the government is trying to corral us into a little space. Go look at San Francisco, New York, LA, San Diego. I think in Chicago and Miami, these little micro apartments, 250 to 300 square foot apartments. They're trying to get us all into smaller, a denser packed area in the inner cities. And that's all Agenda 21. That's all United Nations Agenda 21 Sustainable Development. Go look it up. I mean, I'm not sitting here spouting off things that are just, that aren't true. I mean, I've looked this stuff up. So anyway, getting back to the reasonableness of people, when I talk to people, my whole point, after running off on a tangent, my whole point is this odd adage of people, the Lord helps those that helps themselves. Well, that's just totally not true, because when you look at everything else, people don't want to be helped. No, hold on. People want things for free. They don't want someone coming along and giving it, and helping them understand that they can work, that they can feel better about themselves if they don't, or whatever they're trying to lie to themselves about. Anyway, I can go on and on and on about that, but the point is that people want things for free. They don't want to see the truth or the facts. They don't want to. That's the key issue there. And they will do everything they can to push away the truth, the facts, and I believe that they are on the brink of insanity in the definition of dictionary.com. Go look it up, sanity. They're not reasonable, they're not rational, they're not, they don't have a sense of pride within themselves, that they would rather suck off the teat of the system and stay on it as a lifestyle. Now some have told me, just a little side note here, some have told me who are on the system that said if they had transportation or some way to get around, or had some sort of part-time job that was close to where they lived, they would work. So I'm not saying that all of them want to be on the system. I'm saying a vast majority of them, according to the government's own figures, which is 101 million people, are on the system and are happy to stay there. So, it's incredible. It's just incredible. Tomorrow on the Views Expressed at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, I will have Nick Tucker from Distorted Reality. For more information, go to Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook. And to hear the podcast of his show, go to distortedreality.podbean.com. Also, at some point this week, maybe next, I'll have Brian Keller from Just BK. He has a show on radiokahuna.com or huron.net. And there's just so much going on. I'm trying to get, hopefully within the next few weeks, I'll be getting the one and only Angel Clark on my show on The Views Expressed, and have her on for about a half hour or so and discuss the issues and go from there, and just have a simple discussion about what's happening and what's on the Angel Clark show radar and what's on her mind, and just get her to open up a little more about the economy and stuff like that. She's been everywhere. She's been on CNN. She's been a ton of places. You can catch the Angel Clark show on radiofreedom.us Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern. And that's the Angel Clark show, radiofreedom.us, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern. And then after that, it's my show, The Views Expressed, live, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. That would make it 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific. So, anyway, if you have any questions, I'm going to take a little break here, come back. If you have any questions, please ask, because you'll never know unless you do. So, just send your questions to Free America Radio at USA.com, Free America Radio at USA.com, or Twitter me. Go to Twitter at ULCRev62, ULCRev62. I'll be back right after this.
Get your morning started with the Morning Brew on 92.6 The Blitz. Music from the 60s, 70s, and more. The Blitz 92.6. Go to radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com. With her unique, fast-paced, witty sarcasm, Angel Clark brings you the news of the day with a creative twist. Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern on radiofreedom.us. You can also listen to her live on the Liberty Radio Network at lrn.fm.
Hey folks, how you doing? This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right here for the Wayne S. Pierce Show. This is a podcast. You can catch my show Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com or at the Wayne S. Pierce Show.weebly.com. You can listen to the live show there or to past podcasts as well. You want to email me, you can at Wayne S. Pierce Show at USA.com. Wayne S. Pierce Show at USA.com. Want you to check out a show tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific. That would be the Spencer Hughes Show. For more information, please go to spencerhughes.net. Hey folks, I'm going to get out of here. I didn't want to spend that much time. I start talking about stuff and other thoughts come into my head and I keep on going. So go check out, you heard the promo there, go check out Angel Clark at 2 p.m. Pacific at radiofreedom.us. And for those on the other side of the United States, that's the Angel Clark Show at radiofreedom.us, 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific. Check it out. She's awesome. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, folks, and let you get on with your Tuesday. Come join me tomorrow on the Wayne S. Pierce Show, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com or the Wayne S. Pierce Show.weebly.com. And, hey, have a great week. Enjoy yourself. And remember, peace be with you.